Welcome to the deep dive. We take one source, pull out the key insights, and basically give you the shortcut.
Yeah, get you up to speed quickly.
Today, we're diving into something, well, potentially pretty revealing. It's from a YouTube video transcript, Carl Jung's shocking dark truth about some women men must know, from the Philosopher's channel.
Right, and it's important to say up front, this is an interpretation of Jung, presented in this video format, not Jung's own writing directly.
Good point.
Our mission here is to unpack the arguments in that transcript. We're looking at Jung's ideas like projection, the animus, specifically, and individuation.
And how they supposedly play out for men in relationships.
Exactly. We're hoping for those, aha moments for you listening, making sense of some complex psychology.
Okay, let's start where the video starts, the beginning of relationships. It suggests that sometimes a woman, and the video focuses on this perspective, she doesn't see the man who's actually there. Instead, she's seeing, well, the potential she imagines, like, that intense look, the feeling of being really seen.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
The video argues that's not really seeing you. It's more like you're being measured.
Yeah.
Unconsciously, of course, measured against some internal ideal.
Right, against a blueprint. And that's where the video brings in Jung's idea of projection. Falling for the idea of the man, the fantasy.
Not the actual guy.
Not the actual guy. And the video really stresses this is largely unconscious. It's not manipulation. It's deeper than that, like filling in the blanks with your own stuff.
And the analogy they use is quite stark, isn't it? The man becomes a psychological puppet.
Or an actor in her private movie, yeah. Playing a role he doesn't even know he's been cast in.
Wow. Okay, so building on that, the video introduces Jung's term animus. What's that about?
So the animus, in Jungian terms, it's the unconscious masculine side within a woman.
Okay.
And the video claims that if this animus is, let's say, immature or undeveloped, unchecked is the word they use, it can become this negative force, like an internal tyrant.
A tyrant. That sounds pretty intense.
It is. And the video connects this inner tyrant to some seemingly irrational behaviors.
Like what?
Well, like why some women might be drawn to dangerous men, the stereotypical bad boy, and reject the good guys, or getting into arguments that just don't make logical sense, or having this need to control things.
Right.
The video goes really far, calling it a form of spiritual possession. The idea is she's unknowingly acting out this inner masculine fantasy. It really emphasizes the unconscious drive.
So the man is interacting with this hidden script.
Yeah.
How does the video explain why men will go along with it?
That's the next part. The video suggests men often misinterpret the signals. They confuse being desired with being known.
Ah, okay. Being desired versus being known.
Yeah, or being chosen with being understood. It's flattering, right? Someone tells you you're different, you're special.
Sure.
And you might just buy into it, not realizing you're maybe just fitting a pre-existing role in their head. You feel seen, but are you seen for you or for the part you play?
That makes sense. So what happens when the man inevitably can't live up to this projected fantasy?
Well, that's when the video says the fantasy collapses. And it can lead to immense confusion, feelings of betrayal, even humiliation for the man.
Because the attraction wasn't real.
Yeah.
Or not based on reality.
Exactly. It was rooted in the projection, the ideal. So when reality hits, when the man is just himself, and that doesn't match the script, disappointment is almost inevitable.
But there's a way out of this cycle. The video mentions individuation.
Yes, Jung's concept of individuation. The video presents it as, essentially, the path to becoming a whole integrated self. It's a lifelong journey, apparently.
Becoming your own complete puzzle, you said earlier.
Something like that, yeah. Instead of looking for someone else to complete you, it means facing all parts of yourself, the good, the bad, the stuff you hide.
And the video claims this is the only way out of this psychological theater.
That's the argument. But it also says, pretty bluntly, that many men just don't do it. They're sort of conditioned to look outside themselves for validation, for worth.
And if they keep doing that,
they risk getting stuck in these roles, being cast, then replaced when they stop fitting the fantasy, like being written out of a play because you went off script.
Ouch. So individuation involves facing yourself.
Deeply. Confronting the buried stuff, the insecurities. The video really shifts the focus here. Stop blaming others for not seeing you.
And start seeing yourself.
Exactly. The core message seems to be, becoming a man in this Jungian sense, comes from choosing yourself, not waiting to be chosen.
This leads to another point. They make the trap of self-betrayal. Men molding themselves.
Right. Trying to be what they think the other person wants. From a Jungian view, that's betraying your authentic self.
And the risk there
is becoming just a mask, losing touch with who you really are, what you genuinely want. And here's the paradox the video points out.
What's that?
That very act of trying too hard to please, being predictable, it can actually kill attraction. Well, the video argues the feminine instinct, as they print it, is often drawn to a bit of mystery, the undefined, not just pure comfort or predictability.
So trying to be the perfect, predictable partner might backfire.
Ironically, yes. But the fear of being alone, the video suggests, keeps men locked in these patterns anyway, even if they feel inauthentic.
The video also mentions that this individuation path can be lonely.
It acknowledges that, yeah. When you start seeing through the societal games, the masks people wear, and you follow your own inner direction, it can feel isolating.
And people might react negatively.
Definitely. The video says you might get labeled cold, arrogant, emotionally unavailable.
Why?
Because you're not playing the expected part anymore. The video suggests you become a kind of mirror reflecting back their own discomfort with authenticity, perhaps.
So it's not you, it's them reacting.
That's the reframe, yes. And importantly, the video points out this isn't just about men. Women can avoid this self-confrontation too, sometimes even enabled by cultural norms.
And it circles back to the animus here, doesn't it? Jung's warning.
It does. The video brings up Jung's idea that the greatest danger to women can be their own unconscious animus, if it's not integrated.
It manifests negatively.
As things like false certainty, false authority, maybe a kind of false moral superiority. And this unintegrated part gets projected onto men. They get blamed for her internal conflicts.
So trying to be the exception for her, trying to fix it from the outside.
The video basically says it's futile. You can't fix someone else's internal world.
The video uses strong language about projection, saying it steals reality.
Steals reality and replaces it with illusion.
Yeah.
It emphasizes how distorting it is. And when neither person takes inner responsibility, you just get stuck in blame.
And that initial idealization can turn sour.
Into resentment, the video claims. Because the man inevitably fails the fantasy. He disappoints this invisible character in her mind.
Not even disappointing her, but the projection.
Precisely. It really drives home how disconnected from reality these dynamics can become. Which brings us back to Jung's observation about people avoiding their own souls.
Especially in romance.
Yes. The video suggests many relationships start with people being walking projections, carrying their old fears and wounds, looking for healing in the other person.
And we call that love, but Jung might call it
possession, according to the video's interpretation, a desperate need for completion.
Which leads to that really challenging question the video asks.
What if I am the one responsible for this pattern?
Yeah, turning the lens inward instead of just blaming women.
Right. The video argues that a man who avoids his own inner stuff, his own feminine side, as you might put it, is vulnerable to being a slave to her projections.
And choosing to play that role. It's a choice.
Driven by fear, the video suggests. Fear of facing your own emptiness, your own need for wholeness.
So individuation isn't easy. The video calls it a brutal, lifelong task.
Yeah, no quick fixes offered. It's about confronting yourself, fighting that inner voice saying you need someone else to be complete.
But the payoff?
Freedom, according to the video. The man who can stand alone, rooted in himself, is finally free.
And this isn't about being cold.
No, it's about being real, rooted, fully alive. And paradoxically, that authenticity is what's truly attractive. Not neediness, but genuine presence.
And recognizing the other person is on their own journey too.
Crucially, yes, it's not about saving them, it's about walking your own path.
Okay, so this individuated man, he might make people uncomfortable.
That's what the video suggests. Because he doesn't fit the old predictable patterns, he disrupts the usual script.
Leading to those labels again. Unavailable, arrogant.
Potentially. The video frames it as a reaction to losing control, losing the predictable narrative they expected.
It then links this constant need for validation to a sickness.
A kind of spiritual sickness, yeah. This relentless external focus.
And those grand romantic gestures, I do anything for her.
The video, interpreting Jung, suggests that can sometimes be a way to avoid your own inner work. Projecting your soul onto someone else.
Which isn't sustainable.
No. The projection eventually drops, the video argues, because one person can't carry another's soul indefinitely.
So when it drops, That's the moment for self-reflection.
Exactly. Not blame, but the chance to turn inward, to do the work of becoming whole yourself. That's where authentic connection comes from.
Not transactional, but real.
Yeah, the video paints a picture of connection between two whole individuals. No masks, no neediness, raw, real.
A truthful love, they call it. Rare, demanding freedom.
That sums up their conclusion on that point.
Okay, so let's try and wrap up this deep dive into the Philosopher's video's take on Jung. We've talked about unconscious projection, the animus,
How it creates illusions leads to misunderstanding.
and then Jung's idea of individuation as the way through, becoming authentic, whole.
The main takeaway seems to be this strong push towards inner work, self-awareness, over just chasing external validation in relationships.
Right. Build the foundation within yourself first.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener. Thinking about your own relationships, past or present. Have you ever wondered if you might be projecting onto your partner? Or maybe felt like you were on the receiving end of their projections?
That's a heavy question.
It is.
Yeah.
And maybe the deeper question is, does real connection, that truly authentic bond, require the courage from both people to step outside these unconscious scripts, to really see each other fully?
Something to definitely think about.